Young man, we warmly welcome you on board. So, bring things, clean up, sweep the floor. That's what young people often hear when they first come to a company for the very first time. Because there's a long-standing rule, a rather strict rule from the army, that the youngest always has to endure the worst situation within the company. But what exactly does onboarding young people into your company actually look like in practical application? Especially since we currently live in modern times that are much, much easier than those we grew up in. And young people are perhaps a bit more sensitive than we are, who have become hardened to such remarks. I'm quite sure you'll readily agree with me that truly hard times often create exceptionally strong people, while conversely, good times tend to create rather weak people. Seeing what is genuinely happening with today's youth, we can certainly say that most young people are in fact quite weak, at least emotionally weak, because they live in prolonged times of prosperity, and even relatively trivial matters can easily throw them completely off balance. So how exactly can you introduce young, enthusiastic people into your company in a way that truly makes them feel genuinely happy, deeply satisfied, and truly want to work with unwavering commitment? Just consider for a moment that when we ourselves were much younger, life was often really quite tough and challenging. We had to face many challenges and it wasn't easy indeed. So we're toughened up. We're also quite hardened against truly difficult situations, perhaps even harsh remarks from our supervisors, and we generally handle it much, much better than today's younger generation does. Many experienced managers often complain that a significant number of young people just simply don't want to work. But compare these people to us. When they are young and when we were young, all you have to do is simply turn on social media and carefully listen to what young people are saying to those young people who, for example, work for you, that they already possess luxurious cars, magnificent luxury villas with sparkling swimming pools, and a truly beautiful life. They frequently go on expensive, extravagant vacations abroad, while your dedicated employees are perceived as unfortunate losers because they're still diligently working for you, still earning a regular modest salary, and in reality, they simply can't afford anything substantial. And in the minds of these young people, an internal, profound conflict inevitably arises. How is it truly possible? I haven't achieved significant success yet. How is that possible? In times of great prosperity, in the modern age of the internet, I'm still a loser. Not necessarily. Of course, I'm not insulting your employees, but I honestly feel quite sorry for them, because those often very young people who show off on the internet about how incredibly rich they are and call others complete losers, insulting them quite harshly, in reality they often have absolutely nothing themselves. Everything is just on credit, the apartments are merely rented, and often they don't even pay for those apartments, but online they pretend to be incredibly wealthy, convincing young people who don't have as much life experience as we do that they're total failures. And you really need to take care of these young people a bit. Take them under your protective wing and simply help them both mentally and emotionally, providing them with the support they truly need. Sometimes if you are a mentor to such a young person, you simply have to be like a father to them. Of course, I'm not telling you that you have to do this. You will decide for yourself what will be best for you. And why am I talking about this? Let me explain it to you now. Why is this so important? Look, people are working more and more, and most parents are so busy that they don't have time for their children. As a direct result, it often happens that children do precisely whatever they truly desire, and even if they don't, parents, who are often trying to make up for not spending enough quality time with them, try to provide additional classes at school, various sports lessons, comprehensive English lessons, or other diverse types of educational lessons, or even engaging dance classes. In reality, they don't give their children as much attention as perhaps they should. If you are a parent, I certainly do not want to offend you in any way whatsoever, because that is absolutely not the main point. Above all else, the crucial point is to truly understand today's younger generation. It often happens that such a boss can simply be like an older supportive brother or even a caring father figure to them. As a direct result, they will be much more willing to genuinely listen if the professional relationship is significantly better built and established, rather than if it were merely just a boss-employee or a master-slave relationship, as it has unfortunately been for many hundreds of years until this very moment. You'll clearly see that a young person will cooperate with you in a completely different and far more engaged way than if you treated them simply just like your slave. Because that's not the point at all. As you probably know, at the beginning we used to say, young man, clean up, sweep, and bring things. But that's not the point here, because a young person comes to you to learn something, to learn a profession. And of course it's obvious, who else is going to do certain tasks if not the young person? After all, it wouldn't be appropriate for someone older to do the less desirable jobs. But let's make sure that this young person is well educated, that we devote a lot of time, energy, and understanding to them. Of course, these days, it's truly not easy, especially when we're often frustrated by our own personal issues and challenges, when life really puts us through the ringer at times. And it's sometimes incredibly hard to be the kind of person we genuinely like to be. I don't want to go on talking for too long. So, to sum up this material, we need to understand young people, to realize that they're frustrated by the fact that they haven't achieved anything yet, because their peers online seem so rich, but only in theory. But in reality, they're bankrupt. Often they're bankrupt. We also need to work well with these young people, to encourage them and show them, at least by our own example, how you can change your life simply by working for someone, while at the same time doing something good for others. Just like I'm doing for you today by carefully recording this comprehensive course. So, in a similar and impactful way, we can also profoundly change their lives by thoughtfully introducing a much-needed bit of realism and a sense of comforting normalcy into them. They'll see from our example that it's truly possible to live a little differently than their peers do. We also have to remember that good times quite often create weak people, and in reality today's youth are significantly more susceptible to experiencing burnout or profound depression than, for example, we ourselves are at this particular age. That's precisely why it's worth simply looking at them with more genuine kindness, being willing to help them, and not acting like a boss, but rather maintaining more of a family-like relationship. You will see that a young person will appreciate this and will be more willing to work with you.